How are you? How you holding up?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you? I'm uh I'm just here in Texas, so things have been kind of slow. I feel like things kind of picked up on the coast more with COVID-19, and here in South Texas it's a pretty late hit, but the waterfall trickled and just hunkered down, hanging out.
Right. And then you just said that you moved in the middle of all this?
Yeah, so I was just in the middle of moving. This is really, and that was a tough little venture because all the businesses are closed, but got some stuff done. I'm just moving in between Corpus and Austin, Texas.
Okay.
So,
How come you decided to make that move?
I love Austin. Austin's such a creative hub, and I love tech, so that's really how that goes. Austin is one of my favorite cities.
Yeah.
Have you ever been there?
Yeah. I've been to all the big cities in Texas. I love it all. It's a little humid in some parts, but I like it.
It's very humid. Corpus is extra humid. Extra humid. It's
So, are
crazy.
you guys in the stay-at-home lockdown in your area or no?
Not as of yet. That's why I feel like it's a little late in the game. I mean, we could go into this conversation, right, about the US, maybe lack of being prepared. But even down here, yeah, we're not doing much enforcing.
Really? So all your
Some
businesses are still open? Your restaurants and all that stuff is
No,
still.
those all shut down maybe about 2 weeks ago. But we're doing, to go orders, essential businesses, all that rolling. But the cases are popping up, but we just got testing. It's one of those things. Just got testing. So every day. It's no surprise, but every day we get more.
Do you have a lot of cases in your area? I mean, are they saying?
No,
Hmm,
no, not confirmed, right? We only have 31 as of yesterday, and a handful of those people are between the age of 20 and 29. So it's interesting. It's very interesting. A few are travel related, but they're starting to become community based among the younger ones. So
right.
it makes sense.
So what are you doing to keep yourself from getting cabin fever?
Oh man. I'm trying to stay busy by doing a lot of creating. So that's a big umbrella term. I'm doing a lot of dancing. I'm doing a lot of shuffling. Um, New music that's coming out. I'm doing a lot of live stream, a lot of raving. That's funny. A lot of virtual time with my friends, especially now because tomorrow's my birthday. So I'm excited. My
Happy
friends and I
birthday.
have been on and off Zoom and, having happy hour together. It's such a weird time. It's such a weird time, but we're just trying to make the best of it.
And so do you think that this time is helping your creative juices or yeah, you think so?
Completely, completely. So people are kind of like, so much has changed and I can't really say the same. I work from home anyways, so things have been extra chill for me. If anything, I selfishly love it. I love this because I'm just at home catching up on projects, cleaning, a lot of those things, and that matches my personality. So for me, it's great. I don't mind it.
So I found you through the talk some
Through the TikTok.
randomly through the TikTok. And you got to explain me this world because I'm not, I don't get it. And I just, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
so old
TikTok.
that it doesn't really, I mean, it's just so weird to me. But can you give me a little breakdown of this and how this is working? Because everyone said that it was going to be the next greatest craze. And I think that the quarantine probably helped that because it seems like there's everyone getting on it at this point. But
Yeah.
yeah, explain to me what yeah, I don't even know.
Right. No. That was me 3 months ago. And I feel like 3 months ago I was such in a different place with TikTok. So much can change in such a short period of time. That is the app. But no, I was with Bang Energy. I was in Colombia. That was The coronavirus just broke out when we were on this trip. On our way back, it was already getting active with the face masks and the questions at the airport. So that was the last trip, one of the last trips ever possible for me. But I was in Colombia with my Bang Energy fam, and one of my videos went viral on TikTok, and that was sort of my jump start. From there on out, marketing is you do what works over and over. So I just looked at what worked, which ended up being my niche of shuffling videos and shuffling tutorials. So I kept doing that, kept doing that, kept doing that. And the viability on that app is easy if you hit those marks. But the app is so funny. Just putting shuffling in front of people, that is really what's catching people's attention. And it's really all markets. It's the younger kids, it's the older generation, and I'm not used to that market. So it's been fun to engage with them. It's also more of a beginner style. So yeah, I'm having fun modifying my content creation to these new users of TikTok. It's very loose, very video based, very similar to Vine. And yeah, I also do appreciate that it's not as advanced as Instagram or other apps. Of course, there's not so much to do. There's just enough to do. You can only like a video, you can comment, you can message someone, but there's restrictions, but that's about it. It's so fun. It's so fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to get my algorithm down, and it's just not working. So I have no idea how that algorithm works and um, how, because now obviously I follow you and, and a couple of my friends, but I don't know, there's some really weird stuff out there, and I kind of want to stay away from that algorithm. So I don't know how to curate myself to not be in that algorithm with all these somewhat weird people, I guess. So
Right. No, the algorithm is really weird. It is black and white from Instagram. So if you have a marketer that's been studying the algorithm for Instagram all this time, it is nowhere near the same as TikTok. But yes, definitely just if you don't like a video, scroll past it quickly. I mean, I'm sure you know how that works. Don't let the app see that you like this video because you don't.
So
But
when a video comes up, I have to make that decision pretty quick, is what you're saying, in order for it not.
fairly, I mean, yeah, don't give the app any watch time to show that you're interested in that video. Also, maybe give TikTok a little direction on what you want. Maybe look up a few hashtags. But on my end, if I'm putting a video out, I just want to use the hashtags that are for my people. If I overuse hashtags, or if I try and put my video in more than one place and just try and spread my video thin, it's going to be spread thin. It's good to just keep those hashtags niche and to your market, because I was doing that. I was doing a shuffle video, hashtag shuffle, but I was also hashtagging all the trending hashtags. And at that point I was getting lost in the saturation. But yeah, algorithm is so weird, so weird. A lot of marketing talk.
So I want to get into your shuffling, but I want to go back a little bit. So you were
Right.
in high school and you were on the cheerleading squad, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Cheerleading, high school and college. Yes.
Okay. And that's how you kind of got, well, so let's start there. What made you go into cheerleading in the first place?
I think I've always been sort of an athlete growing up. I actually loved basketball, and I've had a few knee injuries. So with that knee injury came just some thoughts. What am I going to do in college? Because that knee injury came up during my basketball season. So came to college, and cheerleading sort of fell in my lap with NCA, which stands for National Cheerleaders Association. It's kind of this big company. They invented cheerleading per se here in Texas, actually. And it's just a big company that runs cheer camps across the nation. They teach the high schoolers and the college teams when they go to cheer camp. So I was with NCA for a bit, pursued it more in college. I ended college, and I was looking for a new hobby. I've always raved. So EDM has always been it, been raving since high school. And shuffling sort of picked up. It was very easy, very loose, and it became a side gig. It became a job. This was when it started to become popular on Instagram. So alignment, timing, everything kind of happened. And now you have this whole new wave of shufflers that there's just such a connected community online. There's never been a bigger digital community. actually quite insane.
Do you know
So
how? Do you know how it came about? How that shuffle, where it came from originally, or who started it, or
yeah, so as far as shuffling, I know that my personal style, I like to go for Melbourne shuffling, which is shuffling was invented in Melbourne, Australia, when in the tight clubs, when it was just the music was banging and people were shoulder to shoulder, there was a certain type of look that a dancer would have to do to utilize their space the best. I like to mimic that style, like Melbourne rocking, Melbourne shuffling. Of course, that style has been modified over the years, especially America's Little style. Cali is more like stomp based, Cali style shuffling, very powerful. So I like to copy that style a lot. As far as Instagram goes, I'm not sure if you've heard of Elena Cruz, E Cruz on Instagram and TikTok, but her video really went viral on Instagram, which got shuffling kind of in the spotlight then because she had the light up shoes and it was very like eye catchy. So 2013, 2014 is when shuffling kind of popped off on Instagram. And I didn't join the shuffling wave until about 3 years ago on Instagram. And that's really it. It was just the virality factor, being viral. And that's it. And from there on, it's grown.
so is shuffling more in the EDM scene and in the festival like that world, or is it like how did you get from transitioning from being thrown up in the air, cheerleading and all
Right.
that into, actually dancing and doing the shuffle?
Yeah. So cheer ended for me. And once again, I was looking for a new hobby. I regularly go to festivals and to raves. And I was actually at Something Wicked, which is now it's called, I'm not sure what it's called. They changed, oh, it's called Freaky Deaky in Houston, Texas. But it was Something Wicked. This was about 3 years ago. When I saw some people dancing with their feet, and I'm like, what is this? What are you doing? It's such a different way to connect with the music. And met these people, made some conversation. They are all from Austin, Texas right now. And to this day, I mean, this girl is my best friend. Her name's Bridget. Um, she's a great shuffle influencer instructor from Austin. And yeah, she was really my first idol. And then, of course, I followed suit by getting connected with everyone on Instagram. And at this point, people were already kind of putting up content. And it was inspiring to see how people could turn what shuffling is into such a production. At this time, videos were coming out and, music style type of videos. So that part was cool, kind of meshing the dance style that I knew how to do with the performance aspect and then meshing with my love for marketing. So yeah, it all just started from walking around at a festival, taking that home with me. And it took a lot of practice. I tripped over my feet for about 6 months, but we're here. And
So
it's been such a fun ride.
So that's what I was going to ask. So you saw her at the festival, and then what do you go? You go home and sit in front of YouTube and learn, or how?
You go home and you start off with like the running man is step one and the T step is step two. That is your baseline. Shuffling is really not that broad. You see a whole lot of different styles, but at the end of the day, the framework of what everyone is doing is a running man and a T step. So that was where I started. I went home, went to my balcony, played music that had the proper BPM, the proper beats per minute that could have a good beat to practice to. And yeah, I mean, if I showed you my videos, it's so funny. I look like a just so awkward, but we all do. And we all love having that conversation. Shufflers love having that conversation because we turn from something so awkward into just a flow. One day you hit this flow state and your body just naturally moves itself. But yeah, you have to go outside, take a speaker, sweat a little bit, and consider it your workout. Consider it your cardio, and that's what you do for shuffling.
Yes, yeah. The Running Man I used to do when I was young too, amongst other kind of dances too. It's kind of funny that it's kind of come back around. I saw, with getting into the stuff that you're doing, the moonwalk is coming back, and there's a bunch of different those
Yeah.
kind of dances that are part of that whole world. So I thought it was interesting. It's coming full circle, I guess. And so, so you go to the festivals, you start learning, you're YouTubing, you're practicing every day. How do you get to? So the company that you work for is Bang, as in the energy drink, or?
Correct. Bang energy.
And how do you get from practicing every day, and learning how to do this
to
stuff
that.
onto the bang world.
Yeah, that story was insane. And I haven't even been with Bang Energy for a year yet. It'll be coming up on a year in May. But just a quick backstory on Bang. Bang Energy entered the shuffle scene. They kind of met the shufflers halfway and started hiring shufflers. And it really started with Vanessa Secco. She is just an amazing shuffler, dancer, performer, choreographer. She lives in California now. But yeah, she was dancing in Florida. Bang reached out to her, saw this opportunity to put shuffling and create this platform and really bring it to what it is today, to such a productive world. So Vanessa did that. She had the resources and she showed us what was possible, essentially. So she was one of the people I was watching on Instagram back then, which inspired me to move that same way. So fast forward to about 1 year ago, I just graduated college. I was excited, fresh, and then I get an email. And Bank Energy is having a convention. It was the Dallas Expo, and it's in the end of May, or it was last year. It was at the end of May. And during their expo, they had open tryouts. So I looked at how much a plane ticket was because I'm in Corpus Christi, and Dallas is about 7-8 hour drive. And I've made that drive before, but I didn't want to make it. Got a plane ticket, made that investment, and the tryout was insane. It was in all the best ways. It was insane. I went and I performed, but most importantly, I had fun. And I met the board, and I made the right team. I met the right people. And just like that, a few months later, I went out to my first event. And yeah, Bang Energy is just an insane company to give shufflers a chance to do that. Like, we just travel and shuffle now, and they're the first company to do that ever. So that's basically how that goes. They've really taken on the stance.
So just to kind of come back, this was like in a big, huge hotel place where they had like a big room of like 1,000 girls. Were there guys there too? I mean, how many people were at this place at the actual
Right.
audition?
So this casting call was this email that I got. I'm not going to lie. I'm an email person, so I read my emails from top to bottom. And this invitation for the tryout was at the very bottom of the email. So it was hidden, and I was like, what's going on? I couldn't find any of the details on any of the websites. So this was very word of mouth for me. I texted who I knew. I texted who I thought would be at the expo event, because once again, there's active bank shufflers that are at this event because there's already shufflers working. So I knew some of them. I followed them. So of course I messaged them and get some details. But yeah, I did not know what to expect at all. I showed up with my shuffle shoes. I don't know what else to do. And I was met with a bunch of models, which, gosh, these people are beautiful. These people are fitness models because Bang Energy, is fitness. So immediately I was like, oh my gosh, I'm intimidated. But these women and these men are here to predominantly model, and they can like b-boy dance and whatever talent they may have, because the premise is to have energy, right? You want to have energy and represent that. But for me, my talent was shuffling, and I believe there was, I think, like one other girl there that was shuffling, and I taught one girl how to shuffle really quick so she could throw it in with her tryout. But besides that, there was no shufflers. So when I went in, being an ex-cheerleader, I did a backflip, I did a jump, I did cheer things, and I shuffled. And they were screaming, they were so happy. But granted, their picture of Bang Energy shufflers, I follow these people. I already dance like them because we are all shufflers. So for me, I just made sure I was prepared to go in with 100% of me and my confidence and being ready and just doing what I do. Because if Bang didn't love shuffling already, we wouldn't be here. So I just showed up and added to what I know they love. And that was basically it. There was definitely more people that were picked for fitness reasons. I believe a couple shufflers maybe, but I was picked for that national team. So now I get to represent the shufflers like that. That was basically it. There wasn't much shufflers at all, but it was a really take a leap type of thing. It was new for everyone.
And so So now you go on tour. How does that? So around the United States, or where are you
Around
touring
the
with them?
world. Bang Energy is great. Bang Energy has expo events everywhere around the world. We were going to have one in Germany in the beginning of April. Like I said, we just had our Columbia Expo in Medellin. Prior to that, we were just supposed to be in Miami for Ultra Music Festival. So, I mean, year round, there's events going on. Bang Energy is sponsoring or they're partnering with someone. And, part of talent is shufflers. So we just get asked to go dance. And if we're available, we're available. And if we don't, we're always cheering on the other person. It's really how much you put in is how much you get out of it type of situation. So I just make sure I stay plugged in with the other shufflers and tell them I love them, good luck, always practicing gratitude. We really give that energy to each other, energy. But yeah, that's basically it. Bank has their world tours, and we get filled in to go represent Bang at those places. And some do happen to be international, which is the funnest part of all.
So are they every month, week? Like how often do you, or is it just kind of like, hey, next month we're doing something, they'll just kind of randomly call you?
Right. So it's rather random. Once again, I'm pretty new, but just from what I've seen, I know some events have been yearly. So this was the third year. I believe they were in Colombia, just, from hearing the girls like, this is my second year, this is my third year. So that's fun to hear. And I believe Germany might have been the first year this year, but yeah, I mean, Bang Energy is still growing. The idea of shufflers is still growing. That new age style of marketing is growing. So yeah, at this point, it's just a basis of if we have events, we will call you out. So yeah, it's a side gig for me. I mean, it always has been. Shuffling has always been a side hobby. So if it's imperfect.
So if that's a side gig, what's your actual gig? What do you want to be when you grow up?
I work in marketing. I'm a freelance digital marketer. So I just specialize with small businesses. All my work kind of meshes together. I love content creating for small businesses. And then I happen to do it for my own social media, which meshed with doing it with Bang. So I kind of combine all my little creative outlets. So that's my life. 70% of my life, 80% of my life is freelance digital work for other companies. And I, of course, try and keep up with my page as much as possible, my personal pages. And then I practice my content creation with Bang. So it is just a constant creative cycle in my head. That's why I'm always home. I mean, that's my job.
And do you have any other not side hustles, but any other things that you enjoy doing besides shuffling?
Um, I like to spend a lot of time outside intentionally. I mean, there's a lot of things it's a lot of self-care or personal development type of things, reading. I like to sit in the grass. I like to spend a lot of time with my dog. I'm a pretty independent person, or I'm by myself all the time. I'm like an extroverted introvert. I don't know if that's possible, but I do enjoy spending time with myself. So this lifestyle that I've created for myself, my career, fits perfectly with the schedule that I like to have. But yeah, I just do whatever I feel like doing in the moment to go with the flow type of thing. So if I'm not shuffling, I'm probably just doing something on my phone, laptop, or I'm outside with the water or the sun. It's pretty simple at that point. Just always relaxing, trying to.
And so are you doing content? You're doing it straight out of your phone? Do you have cameras? You're editing? Like how does that? How much time does that take? Because I know what it takes me,
Too
and
much
I have a
time.
crew, so it's a little bit different for me. But yeah, no, that's the one thing that I've noticed that a lot of these creators, they're trying to do this all. It's a 24-hour day, 7 day a week, 3 6. I mean, they're. I don't know how they get to enjoy life itself, except for when they're shooting the video. They're, out like you said, out with the
Right.
dog, or it just seems like they're consistently putting out content, which I'm assuming is what you have to do. But I mean, how in a situation where you're making one of your shuffle videos, how long does that kind of process take?
Yeah, so let's say I'm collaborating with an artist and I have a song to dance to. At this point, when it comes to creating a video, I don't take that long, but that has come with being comfortable in front of the camera. If you ask almost any shuffler, that is one of the biggest barriers to get over, is being in front of a camera. That's hard for anyone. So once I flipped that switch, which might have been about 6 months ago, basically it's like, okay, if I feel good about it, if it's a vibe, if I feel like that was a flow, take it. I don't care about much else. When before I would nitpick everything. So as far as the filming goes, it's really short. And I do like one shots all the way through my dances. So yeah, once again, it should be super short. Um, Editing, I don't really like to edit. I'm more of a idea creator and creator, but whatever, you have to finish the product. But I edit off my phone, I edit off my computer, and I don't do crazy edits. I wish I was better, or I wish I had a team, but predominantly I just do the trims, the cuts, overlay audio, change some color, make it look a little pretty, and that is it. Export that and upload it. My video quality isn't as best as a lot of people because I record off my phone a lot just to save time. That is my thing. It's just me. So a lot of my stuff is working smarter, not harder, which means recording off my new iPhone. So with my little fish islands. That's it. But of course for my digital job, the businesses I work for, I have the camera and the gimbal and all that good stuff. But for me, I'm usually cell phone and ring light type of vibe, especially for TikTok. It's a little informal.
So you do your TikTok videos straight to your phone basically, and then just put it right up? Because I was trying to get video onto TikTok, and it doesn't. The sizes, and it's just and of course I'm going through YouTube to try to figure out how to size it correctly, and they never
Right.
work. So you basically kind of cut out those extra steps and just record with the phone right on a TikTok, and then you do your little edits right then
Right.
and there, and then send it.
80% of the time, 85% of the time, I'm recording straight in the app with TikTok. And that's for those dances where, one time through, no cuts. And yeah, TikToks now take me maybe at most 3 to 5 shots for a short little song. And then I'm like, okay, I'm really content with that. When before it took me a while. So one of those things where you get comfortable with that. But if it gets to like a complicated TikTok where you're having transitions and cuts, yes, I definitely take that baby out of the app and edit externally, but it's only been about 3 videos thus far that I've needed to do that much work. But I just use InShot, INSHOT, and I crop my media right away because they have the TikTok option, of course, and I just do it then. So when I upload it, it's not too weird. Sometimes I'll be lazy down and I'll upload like a square video, no audio, because who cares? But
How do you pick your audio, your music and stuff? Is that part of marketing also?
completely. Most of my shuffle tutorials is going to be that same song. Almost all the shuffle tutorials on TikTok, or at least the popular ones. That's the point. That's why I use that song. That's part of the game. That's just part of how I would get views and builds that first fluff of followers, because I wanted to get that base amount of followers. So, you just want that number to look good. And once people see you have followers, they want to follow you more. So for me, really putting out that one thing that worked, which was my shuffle tutorials, using that shuffle song, which is like, dun-dun-dun-dun-dun. I mean, it's so repetitive in heads now, but use the same song over and over. Yes, probably branched out to 1 or 2 other common tutorial theme type of shuffle songs. Besides that, if I'm uploading a shuffle video, yes, I'm strategically trying to do a very TikTok-y song. If I had it my way, I would do techno all day, every day. I love techno. And I upload techno content. But for the TikTok pleasure viewers. It's more of the big room, very dubsteppy type of noises. So sometimes, yeah, I'll strategically choose those noises. That's for shuffling. If it's just dancing, like the trending dances, yeah, just make sure it's trending. That's all I do. If it's like 2 days fresh, then it's good enough. But there's a new dance every day. So doing a dance a week old might be pointless if you are trying to go viral. Well, not a week old, but rather do a dance that's a day fresh.
And how many a day do you put out there usually, or what is the norm for
Ooh,
that world?
ideally 3. That's the sweet spot for TikToks. I know yesterday I didn't post it all. I don't know about the day before that. I try and get 2 up. 2 up is my average. On good days, definitely 3. But ideally 3 posts a day, which is a little work. Not really. Not really.
Now, do you go outside or in wherever you record them 3 times a day, or do you record a bunch of them and then cut them up and then put them up, kind of a situation?
That's the trick. When it comes to shuffle tutorials, yeah, to anyone listening, to anyone wondering, or to anyone that even just has a niche. If you have a niche, if you have like a theme across your TikTok, and if you're in the mood to create, I encourage you to create in that moment. If you're in the talkative mood, if you're in the be in front of a camera mood, create as much content as you can because it's so helpful in the long run. So in the case of my little shuffle tutorial, it takes 30 seconds to record one. So I'll record like 4 or 5. And then when I'm in the mood to do it, I'll record 4 and 5. Then later on, when I'm in the mood to edit it, I will do all my text overlay, all the little details of each video. I'll do that all at once. And then I'll just save them in my drafts for a rainy day. And that makes it so helpful. Once again, I'm rather new to TikTok. So it's been a lot of trial and error. But at this point, yes, I love saving things in my drafts because it's so easy to go to the drafts. I already did my text overlay. I already did my caption, immediately upload. And it's just the easiest thing. So TikTok is not too hard, just a little bit of work. Not too hard though.
And so, what is next for you? What's the outcome? What do you want to? What later on, like in the next? Where are your goals at this point?
Man, my world right now is just so full of marketing, and it's just so everywhere. I'm about 1 year post grad, so for me, I'm still figuring things out. But naturally, my personality is very go with the flow. So I'm kind of putting my trust in the higher power always. I guess goals for me, if I had general goals, Austin, Texas, I just want to, push my creativity out more and see what I can do, see where I can apply myself. I know my personality traits. I know that I'm super strong-headed. I'm competitive. I'm a leader. I like to manage things. So I know all of these things about myself. I think the past year has been a lot of figuring myself out because 1 year ago I had no idea what I wanted to do. I still don't, but I have a better idea of who I am. So I know that the decisions I make now are much more clear. And that's my goal. I want to be able to reach crossroads and be able to make decisions that I know I want that. I know I'm confident in this decision because I'm so sure about myself. And right now, Austin is that for me. Austin feels very good, very comfortable. I feel happy about that. Things for me are great right now. I mean, I've built connections where I'm at, which has given me the ability to freelance naturally. Once again, I still haven't been able to brand myself as a freelancer or advertise myself. It's just been natural, but I would love to step into that identity more, step into that role more. And that's where I'm at. That is where I'm at. As far as Bang goes, I just want to continue to shuffle and dance with the intention that I have had because it's done good for me so far. So don't want to think into it too much, but all my eggs are in that basket. I love Bang Energy. I love the company. They've loved me so well, so I love them back. But yeah, for me and my brain, that's part-time. Full-time for me is my marketing, which I can't even identify that completely right now. But I know I'm headed in a direction where my personal brand is definitely separate from my career. even though it started to had to become a focus, especially with TikTok. So that's where I'm at, going with the flow, reading my emails all day, taking every opportunity that's in front of me because I just don't know what's going to come. But I'm just taking everything, taking everything. That's all I'm doing right now.
And in that shuffle world, that EDM world, festival world, are there any other avenues that you are attracted to? DJ or music or
Mm.
writing or singing or any of that kind of stuff? Are you in that world at all, or?
Honestly, no. I wish. I wish I had this like really cool story because I know I have a lot of friends that are amazing DJs. I have shufflers. Mary Grace, my good friend, she just came out with a song yesterday. She's an amazing shuffler and shaper. She's also with Bang Energy. She lives in LA now, but she just came out with her first single or her song yesterday. Not single, I'm sorry. But those type of things, I don't know. I pretty much just shuffle. I'm not a good singer unless I'm in the shower. Um, yeah, I like I said, I'm an introvert, even though my personal social media might say otherwise. I think I'm just really expressive and out loud in my circle, in my safe space. And my followers have become safe for me. And I don't know how else to explain that, but seeing that I've made sure that I've been my most natural self across all platforms and anything I post. And in return, people have responded to me and given me such natural feedback, such vulnerability. So everyone is so amazing. And I've said this before, but I think I have the best followers because they respond to everything. They comment, they engage, and it's so genuine. And I just think it's because I've been genuine too. And when that just happens, just a mix of love and success. And, I'm always in the green. The followers are always going up. The engagement's always going up. And I forgot what the question was, but
That's fine. You answered it. It was just about if you DJing or music or any of that kind of stuff. But you answered it.
right,
You're a creative person. You just haven't necessarily. You're just basically building your brand right now, which is great. I mean, that's
exactly.
going to take a minute, obviously. But the other thing
Hmm.
is, you are moving to a different town, and you. What about because of there's more creativity in that next town that you're going to? What about moving
Right.
to any other state? Are there any other ideas of, oh, maybe in a couple of years I want to go to New York or to Atlanta, Chicago, LA, wherever? I mean, do you ever have those kind of thoughts, or you really think that you're gonna get married, have kids in Texas, and just kind of do that whole thing?
Yeah, no, that's so funny you say that. So first of all, I have no attachment to anything. I am free to go wherever as long as, once again, the opportunity is calling my name. And I do look at every opportunity. I do look at everything on the table, even if I think that I want something. Because, like I said, at this point, I do feel like I know who I am. I'm so sure about things. But even though I feel this way, I'm still going to look at all options all the time fairly. So, with that being said, yeah, very open mind. If something came up in a few years, I would have no problem moving anywhere. I actually would love to live in Europe or at least backpack Europe for like 3 months in my lifetime, 3 to 6 months. I love that. So, yeah, I'm down to go anywhere, anytime. Um, the second part of that, do you remember what you said? I just forgot. It went
Just
over
to
my
where
head.
if you would want to move, you said that I just was wondering if there was any other state besides Texas that you would want to live in, or you're
Oh
just
yeah. So I mean, New York is great. I really loved LA. I was in LA a couple months ago. That was insane. Everyone there is just on the same page because I am a small town girl from Texas. Like people say they're from a small town. Like my graduating class was 22 people. It is so small. So when I tried to explain to my grandmother, who still lives in this town, who always lived in this town, what I do, she has no idea. This is my family. This is where I'm from. We're very Mexican. It's just a whole new world. So they've never been to LA. They've never been to New York. So when I went to New York, this is everything that I do from this point forward. College. I'm a first generation college student. Everything has been a new thing for me. And I know it's always going to be new, but once again, that's why I'm ready to embrace that. I have to be ready. for the unknown. And LA was that for me. And oh my gosh, seeing everyone so confidently being creative, so like they knew what to do. Like if you were looking good and dressed in an outfit, like you take a picture, and we don't really do that in Texas. If you walk around, the girls wear like big t-shirts and shorts. That's what I wear. We're very, very chill, and which is great. In LA is not, which is also great. It's just black and white. And yeah, I feel so inspired by LA. I'm such a small town introvert, but I could do LA. I could do LA. Final answer. Definitely loved LA. I'm not really crazy about New York, gonna be honest.
Yeah, no, I've lived in New York and lived in LA. I like them both equally. It's but the creative thing too is, you don't have a normal per se a normal job, but if you are a
Right.
waiter or a bartender out in Los Angeles, you're also the other bartenders and waitresses and waiters, and they're all actors or musicians or content creators. So it is very
Right.
creative. So even if you came out here and you couldn't, you were going to just get a job as a hostess at a place or any of
Right.
that kind of stuff, you're going to meet these people. I've had multiple millions of people say, "Hey, I'm moving out to LA. I've socked away a ton of money. I don't have to do that." I say, no, the first thing you need to do is get a job. I don't care where it is. It doesn't matter. Work at a 7-Eleven, or you have, because that's where you're going to meet people, because you're not going to just come out, because the only way you're going to be able to be creative with these people is if you're actually working with them, if they're in the same position as you are. So if you go and
Yeah.
you have a bunch, like I said, waitresses or bartenders or wherever you want to work, these people are doing the same thing. They're going to want to be creative just as much as you are. So I tell people, I have had very, very,
Right.
very wealthy people that I know come out here and say, "I don't need it. I have plenty of money. I just go anywhere. I don't go work at a gym. Like it doesn't matter." Like I think that's the
Right.
whole thing. And there are a lot of, but in New York, it's the same way too. And Atlanta's become that way a little bit too because of, the Walking Dead's down there and Marvel's doing all their stuff. So Chicago, it's
Right.
creative, and you may find that when you move to Austin too. But I don't. Most of the content creators that I know, even the YouTube kids that we'll call them, are all out here now
Hmm.
because they basically and even those guys are still working at Starbucks, or they're working at, like they're wherever.
I
It's just
know.
so it.
It's insane. Like, and you make a great point, because my friends in California that are influencers, they bartend and they serve. And, it's pretty much like a Thursday through Saturday, Sunday, you're working the nightlife. In the beginning of the week, you're creating, you're getting up, you're collaborating. And yeah, that to me was just, it's a totally different world. And I left feeling so inspired. The same thing with Colombia, when you were just surrounded by creators, by influencers, because that's what that trip was. Every single bang event, you have your talent, and your talent consists of shufflers, b-boys, dancers. Most of them were with Miami Heat as well. And then, of course, just influencers. We had big time influencers there. And it was very natural for everyone to just, once again, pull out the phone. If you see someone's having a really good dance, pull out your phone and make sure you record them. Yeah. So I came back feeling fresh. I went to LA right before Columbia. So imagine I had a whole week and a half of just inspiration from creators around me. It was absolutely insane.
Okay, well, why don't you? We've been speaking for about 45 minutes. Why don't you give everybody your social media
Oh,
stuff so
wow.
they can all like stalk you and learn from you and do all that happy stuff?
Yeah, definitely. Well, first of all, I want to say thank you for having me. This was spontaneous, but it was so fun. I enjoyed talking. If you haven't been able to tell, I'm a talker, so maybe that could be one of my creative things. I have no idea. But yeah, follow me on any socials. I always love to engage on Instagram. I am at Ciara Loves You. That's going to be Ciara with the Ciara loves dot the letter U. Ciara Loves You. Same thing for TikTok at Ciara Loves You. And if you have a Facebook, I'm everywhere, girl. If you have a Facebook, just look up Ciara Shuffles, Ciara space Shuffles. YouTube. I mean, yeah, I'm everywhere.
That's
But
fine.
in all of my bios, once again, you'll see all my links. So main things, Instagram, TikTok. So Ciara Loves You.
So thank you very much for this. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much. You're
And
very enjoyable. I'll talk to you soon.
you got it.
See the light, your eyes wide shut, they need advice. I don't need you to live my life, and when I go, don't be surprised. I just don't care to say goodbye. Put on my life, I tell no lies. I see the future every time.